Ado, hello again. Mwa munuya ama, mia mini, masiaba. Two different shows, two different purposes, and then I'll do quite a few of these. Each purpose is a different video. Yes. First one, now it was generous ama, giving freebies. And my best business near Brabo. Welcome back to Unuyama. This time it is a sales, your friend is a video. Mekai said last week, Mene Ferdinand Senyo, your friend is a Lawson, Ebidin Komo. Time a Ferdinand was no walk asano. Mumudu do no amoka semo pesemoko into seminar. It's taking me a while, but we have organized a seminar for the 14th of July. He's a difficult one to pin. 14th of July. 80 Muamoka Semope, your friend is saying with Senyo no. I am going to put the link out, and when the link goes out, we book them as soon as the link goes out, and I get the confirmation of places. I need these things to have good attendances so I can actually but obviously, if mede obi free abonten eba mesrew links no ni nyina agusro of this message mesrew ukoso a obehunu webinar live webinars the link wasro, but I'm just going to run this so that we book them live mesrew mo ka asem obeye eninti na me ne enkofoi aka ho asem. Now, when you in webinar, none of these people are easy to pin. But you told me, when I'm okay, I have listened. I have definitely organized, and I need to see bookings. Don't let it be the modern one. No kind of keke there be. Your friend is a phone in and crofone wa ebano. Mesre wenyado wa woka asa wo pbibia na come and redeem sa pledges no amoka ye no moka asa mo ye interested no ampa matiase makoye your friend say arrangements ma frɛ enkrofo no amoka asa wo mo mmra so no enti omo nyina ye available nti nipa miensa no a mo request ye no wo mo nyina. Okay, share. Good and can be a baby. The same share at the edema Nipano a deliver webinars in excellent. And see okay, whatever. What be Pieswa, me pacho jara the end my area. This is not a jara. This is tying in a few things. Mama, so easy in the middle. If you talk it's it's me and I will test one. I like yes, Mechiamo. Good afternoon. And then we could meet instead of the court to see why. What the betcha me? A court is not killing anybody. It's ever found a Sabbath or showed me. I have to actually baby. Hello, wow, wabaso can be the mean who is a wabaso. Why the car said Onya Wobeko Ferdinand Senyo Lawson, ne webinar. What can say what person will call Ferdinand webinar or type Ferdinand for me in the comments. Ferdinand. And he didn't call Ferdinand, not Ferdinand. My yes, I'm an akawano. Ferdinand, my friend is Senyo, because Ferdinand will be coming Nubo. Senyo, Mwamu Senyo last week, no. We are talking empowerment. Wa wunya Senyo empowerment, you know, Obekobino. Freme. O Fremia, o se ama, me person me call Senyo at the enemy. Ferdinand, any Senyo din, a patch save your friends a type Ferdinand and put it out. Ferdinand webinar. I will be in touch with some of you later, depending on the expressions of interest. You know. Ferdinand, you know, it will be happening the 14th. The second one is from bottoms up approach. Memenda, my name is Addison. Your friend is an emotional intelligence expert. That is Kwesi Addison. We will talk about emotional intelligence. So the ultimate emotional intelligence. I need you guys to go into your friend is saying. As I said, and Yama Mode Manuakano, starting who say Mode Manoka Mon Canapa, Mode Manoka, and you back it up with action. You requested, I have done it. And I'm asking you, say, to show me at the end what more requested, me organize the obey. To say, me the Fed not the any better so, me the James Addison the better so, that made the sister Mary Amoah a dear better so. Sister Mary Amoah is the first one, in fact, Friday, 1 p.m. GMT. 1 p.m. GMT. Obetimi ehunu me Sister Mary Amoah. Yeah, discuss it and near marketing kitty. Parenting children with learning difficulties. And in the first one, parenting children with learning difficulties with Amma Manson, host and expert is Sister Mary Amoah. Wow, webinar no Mr. Just get straight on and tell me, says our webinar and I will pesa woba. Again, Sister Mary Basono, Mumudu Donwaka, Samo Pesamoba in webinar. Matthias, we are going to be learning together. Ane, we yam feni agro, nye fedi agro, Mr. Sister Mary nime, ye webinar. Webinar no ye no for parents. For parents, a mo and quadano or madisia, and shedan konenim. For mo amunim se mo mehiamwa. Mo amunim se support of a kind be. Ebeboa woba amana kwanim no. We are going into webinar. Eti Mr. Make those bookings now. Na mi hunu nipa dodo no available no. Se nipa ne draw so na se me second date available and metimi nipa no a me ne wo mo run no experts na me ne wo mo run no ye suitable arrangement. Me no, I did not dare organize more than one date because minimi pa yet ade anoka asem. But it drew time a year 2 niema no ho anamonwa the idea no kan en tan kire hwe enu nti se me was akukudro no anka be organize many dates edit to ho ansa na nkrofo we nyina wo days aye booked. But I don't want to go and brag and book many days abra minnim se mo beba anamomma the ye wo Facebook ni the as I keep saying free na mom me intimi free Sister Mary Amoah say womra metena se with the book womra metena se with an for an hour on my content onu tue sika education aye na won farmer free all the time and the enya aduma nti say webinar no aye ye focused mo ba ni akire mo say this parent it's a lesson we enye Facebook nkomo Debbie enya fe na Sister Mary be kind of story tin the akire we are actually in training. This is a training exercise. You develop parents no. Eti parents amunya mo beko sa webinar no me pamacho let me know some of you interested in webinar no na me Sister Mary yen share see buku another date ka ho ane aye nentem. Eti first one on the list Sister Mary Amoah and me no ye webinar no aye no parenting children with learning difficulties no on the 3rd of July, which is Ifia Day. Ochina nechi fiada and then you fiada the first fiada de no 1 o'clock GMT webinar into ye no online am signing in case so school until you wo for na wo pese wo ba na this yakwa nanim na wo hia support na eno Sister Mary ne me ye betimi aye input e de aboa wa mesrew managing or parenting children with special needs. Title no. Why ne pese obuku onto sa webinar no? We nipa wo pese obuku onto sa webinar no. You clearly can do your friend is saying. Booking no, you can make it straight away. Mo amowo Facebook no, na mo so that. But say me decide say but the links never see a good live feed, so click on it to say see Masry. Go and make those bookings now. Where your sister Mary Amoah for webinar menene. Sa webinar no for our for parenting. Mo a monim sɛ mowɔ nkwadaa bi a wɔn hia mmoa. Na wɔn yɛ nkwadaa a wɔn betumi abuku na wɔn akɔ yɛfrɛ ne sɛn. Wɔn yɛ nkwadaa a wɔn hia mmoa but wɔn hia support. Metanya saa inquiries ne paa. Ama mesrɛw ama mepakyɛw no mepakyɛw mo na seesei. Ɔsua na mate. Ɛna nyame ayɛ madom. Makɔfrɛ sister Mary Amoah for ɛna waba. Si yɛnya Ghanafoɔ nko a yɛbɛyɛ ne twi te sɛ deɛ nnora me business me yɛ ne twi no. Sɛdeɛ ɛbɛyɛ a obi abɛte aseɛ. Sɛ woyɛ obi a papakyɛw me ba. Ehwɛ sɛ metumi abɔ something from the past between me and sister Mary. Na nka mwahwɛ. Munsi me ho abotre na high tech no to den hyɛ da nyɛ high sa. To da tech no. Wunya nka pɛ so ɔyɛ high but nya bi bia no kana sɛ high. Ne ba ne sɛ na eyi me firi. We yasɛ. Okay. Munsi abotre. I am looking for Facebook video at my name Sister Mary. A year recently. Nanka mabo ama mo amuhunu Sister Mary ne mo webinar no. Those of you who really need an introduction to Sister Mary and what before. Nanka mabobi ama mo ahwe. Okay, Facebook might be tricky. Amenko hana menko she. Say chiwe Nobody fantastic this woman is. And you will know, said the webinar is a very big treat. I mean, the feeling is very mutual. Usa for me. Here's it. YouTube, no bedroom, my network. And because my network is dodgy, I have to be careful. Okay, maybe let me say, well, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I hope you are well. If I'm telling you, bye-bye. I'm a classic. I was organized, everything going, but it turns out I am not. Come on, work with me. Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Right, into my main shit. Where's the apple to the power? Rami, just bear with me a little bit. I am trying to get this thing done so that I can show you the audio. I just forgot to click share audio the last time. It's why I couldn't share and let you listen. I hope you are well. I hope you are well. It's good to see you. Good to see you. It's really good to see you. I have a guest interview. This one was scheduled. So I think those of you who watched, paid attention to the heading and the text that I put in would know that it's an interview with Miss Mary Amoah. We will be talking about autism. We will talk about children living with conditions. It's an inspiration interview. It is targeting parents, but not just parents. It's one of those stories of adversity which becomes a victory. So I am hoping that those of you who are watching would get inspiration out of this one. And yes, I am just waiting to connect with my guests. And when the guest is safely in, we will start our conversation. So do bear with me a little bit. I will start with the advert. And whilst the advert runs, I would be contacting the guests, working behind the scenes to make sure that the with the ad, and I will go off and what does it say?
To us at Achimota, and so you quickly go and
about this topic. It's almost a universal topic, so I want to do it in English so those guys can also benefit and they can also learn from us. My story very similar to your story. When the story starts, it's a bit sad because of the way things start. But I want people to understand it's not a pity party. My story is a triumph. Your story is a triumph. And I'm hoping that by sharing the triumphant stories, it will encourage other people currently going through it. So introduce yourself a little bit and tell us a bit about how it all started with Nanaya.
Where do I start? So I'm Mary Amoah. I'm a teacher by profession, and I got married quite early. So I was looking forward to the kind of marriage I see on TV. You know, those ones are with no problems, isn't it? So I have two boys already. So I have a 21-year-old and I have a 22 and 20-year-olds. They are both boys. And then I prayed to God to bless me with a girl. And indeed, he did. So Nanaya came, and this was in 2012. 3. She was just perfect. And I was just looking forward to her meeting her developmental milestone like my boys. Can you hear me?
I can hear you for sure. Can you hear me?
Very clearly. So her childhood was okay. And I remember very well when Yah was 2.5, she was walking. I remember when she would come to you and request for water. So we speak a lot of Twi at home. So usually she'll come and say, Menmusio, so you quickly go and get her the water. Menmusio in Akan means I want water.
Yeah.
And so she was fine. But around 3 years, I noticed that she was quelling more to herself. So she wanted to play by herself. She was running in circles. She was flapping her arms. She wanted to be alone. In fact, autism was not part of the things I ever thought, And I always say that I was a teacher by then. In fact, a teacher who believes in herself so much. So I didn't know anything. I thought, my daughter was just, but I think one thing that really got us thinking was the fact that the few words that she had, like the menmusio, oh, bye-bye, mekobi, those kind of I want to go with you, I want water, bye-bye, ma'am. She stopped, saying those words. So that was actually the thing that got us thinking. And then 4 years, she was more quelling to herself. Yeah. We were staying at Achimota School at the time. And so there was this other teacher who would pick Yah up in the morning to join his kids. And there was this small boy who was of the same age with Yah. And he was 4 years. Number one, he was potty trained. Yah was not potty trained.
Okay.
2, this little boy was talking, in his own terms. So he could basically request for his needs. He could identify his things. My daughter was not doing those things. But he was actually the potty training because around 4.5, the teachers also started talking. So like, Madam Obano, Debbie Obodipa. And remember, if you have to do with a 2-year-old, toilet is fine. 3, it's okay. 4 years, it is not that fine. Teachers will begin to talk, Exactly. So I think that really got us worried. My husband also got worried. And then he actually discussed it with a cousin of his. And he said, well, I would also, check and see what I can come up with. But around the same time, I went to a Catholic school in Sunyani.
Okay.
And one of the Peace Corps volunteers, Laura Mock, she was a very close friend of mine. She had come to Ghana to visit. So she came to us at Achimota. And just about 15 minutes of being with us, she called and said, Mary, is your daughter always like this? And I said, like what? He said, well, she hardly gives me eye contact. She's playing by herself. She's running in circles, flapping her arms. She's not really connecting. And I said, well, yes, she's been like this for some time. Then she said, have you heard about autism? I said, my friend, speak English to me. What are you talking about?
What language is this?
Yes. She explained. And this was around 5.5. And we had no idea. My husband is a science teacher. I'm a teacher by profession. We had no idea. So it was actually Laura who, said this one word, the word autism. And then she said, okay, let's go. Around that time, there wasn't internet cafe and Android phones. And so she took me to Osu. We went to this cafe at Osu. I remember very well. And then we bought airtime. She just Googled the word autism. And there were tons of information. She printed a few of these and gave it to me to read. So I came back home, I started reading. Some of the things that were, written there, my daughter was doing some of it, but there were a lot of these things that Yah was not doing. So again, she was like, Tessa, it can't be.
Yeah.
Then we're getting to 6 years. She was still not potty trained. She was still not talking the way we expect. And then there was another development. This time she was not sleeping at night. So throughout the night, she was shouting. Sometimes she would cry. And so we're getting worried and worried and worried. And that was when it really dawned on us that, maybe there was some truth in what Laura said. So officially, we turned ourselves in as parents. So we went to a place at, then where was that? That was around Coco Clinic. So we went there, and that was the first time. And Dr. Amoah of Blessed Memory, he mentioned the word autism the second time. He said, have you guys heard about autism? We said, yes. They said, well, your daughter seems to be on the spectrum. I said, okay, so can we do something for it to go? It was like, you need to learn about it. You need to start therapy. The word therapy, myself, I didn't even know what it was. Therapy, And so that's how it started. Trust me, from that hospital back home, it was the longest drive we've ever had. My husband was very quiet. I was crying because it was like, how is it going to be? How am I going to raise it? What am I going to tell my friends? So you want to have this perfect child. And I'd actually dreamt of having a baby girl, having her in pinks, braiding her hair, showing her off. And Yah was very beautiful. So I was looking for the opportunity. Yes. Looking for the opportunity to show her off. And here you are, running around, flapping arms. Sometimes you make this irritating noise of all unending. And here we are today.
Auntie Mary, do me a favor. Can you bring the camera down a little bit so we can see your face more closely? Yeah. And I can put people
talking.
Yeah, it's perfect. So that the comments don't cover your face. That's it. So those of you who just arrived, Auntie Mary and I, we have stories to tell you. I think a lot of you know my story already. My mom didn't have a son. So have a son was a big syndrome growing up. But it never happened. So I also went and had a child, my very first child, son. Beautiful, beautiful boy. Did not cause trouble. Does not. He only cries when this boy is hungry. And now in hindsight, if I knew what I knew, that would have been the time to actually start intervention. I didn't know. So I was enjoying my docile baby. He doesn't cry. Oh, he, like most of these kids, like Nanaya's case, he actually started speaking. And in my house, almost everybody speaks between 6 to 8 months. We speak very fast. We are very, when you see children from my family speaking, they'll be like that little, and people are like, who spoke? Who spoke? Who's constructing those sentences? That's the kind of family I come from. My daughter was like that. My sister's kids all like that. They speak early. They hit milestones on point. Then my son, he started walking. He actually officially walked on his first birthday. And again, he should have told me some things. He would walk, but when we would come, he would sit. He would refuse to walk. On his first birthday, we were having a birthday party. All the kids were running. This boy run like the rest of them. And we're like, oh, so he can walk. And that's the day it officially became that he could walk. He did not flap, but it was fists. He started making fists. And I remember looking at my husband one day, and I'm like, what is this fist? He would take the train engines and he would not ride it on the track. Remember, this is our first son. We bought all the toys. He play with the toys. Yeah, the agony of a mother. I'm telling you. He's supposed to play with these toys in a particular way, but the boy refuses to do what the toy says. He wants to ride the toy on people's arms. he wants to ride not on the train track, but on the windowsill, along the couch. But at that time, we were like, okay, he's a little boy, you know, he plays differently. He started speaking, but yeah. But you know, the things he acquired, then after a while, like Nana's case with Medimusu, they also started disappearing. So the linguistic abilities retrogressed. And I am also a teacher. That's when my alarm bell started ringing. So we made the first referral when he was 2. And at the time, the pediatrician told me that I was mad. There was nothing wrong with the boy. I am exaggerating, blah, blah, blah. Go off. But I'm watching this kid, and I know the milestones he's supposed to hit. Potty training was also delayed, you know. And then he started going to the nursery, and little aggressions began to present themselves. The kids would take a toy, and he would just push somebody and take a kid. And this kid is the most docile kid. He comes from nursery, and he's bitten somebody, or he's pulled somebody's hair, or he's not sharing. Okay. Then he started only hanging around just the adults in nursery.
Oh dear.
In case it wasn't anybody telling me. I knew.
You knew.
I knew. But I didn't want to believe this one.
Yeah.
I could see some of these behaviors when he was 3. We had to go through diagnosis. But in our case, funnily enough, when eventually the diagnosis was being made, no decision could be made. Because when I knew what it was and I knew what school was pushing to get, we also started doing augmenting therapies at home. We started seeing consultants, speech therapists, behavioral therapists, every therapist there was to. That's one of the reasons why I am broke and I remain broke even today. But because those interventions and therapies went in, obviously, they could not diagnose. And what they said to us is that he must be somewhere on the spectrum. They couldn't tell where because the behaviors did not fit anywhere. And that was our luck. In our case, he's managed to overcome completely. You would not tell that he even had this kind of history ever. But it's
well done.
Story. Oh, thank God. Sometimes, so when he turned, I think 10, he always said he wanted to read one of his early diagnoses. And he bugged me. So when he turned 10, I promised him I will let him see. And I selected one of the most friendliest ones. They were discharging him at that time. So everything was almost not, the boy cried like somebody had died. He could not believe some of the things that had been said about his progress and the things he had overcome. And he just couldn't believe how far he had come. But let's go back to Nana. Let's go and talk. So now the dreaded word has been mentioned in Ghana. Where do you go?
So, you know, there's that part of you that says, this can't be happening. I mean, how? Why? Yeah. I mean, it can't be. You know, so I think there was also that feeling of denial. Yeah. In fact, I was in denial for a long time, I must admit. And I didn't want to talk about it to anyone.
No.
At all. And then I try to, you know, when I have to go out, I try not to go with so people will not be. You know, this is Ghana. People talk. People
talk everywhere. Everywhere.
Maybe it's more here, you know. And sometimes people ask you questions that you don't have the answer. So I think the first place I really tried to hide my daughter from was at the school where I was teaching. But there was this one particular teacher, Comfort, I'll never forget. Come on, be like, Mary Ubey Yason Kasapsu, shut up. And then later my sister also came. I was like, Mary, it looks like your child is too good. I said, don't bring your nursing thing on my child, please. You know, so this went on for some time. Look at somebody.
Hey.
Hello, Nanaya. So this went on for some time, you understand? That feeling of what would people say?
Yeah.
What would people say? So I was really in denial. If you are listening to us and you are going through that, it is okay. Give yourself that time to, cry, ask all the questions. But please do not stay there for long.
Thank you.
Do not stay there for long, sister. So,
hello, no.
And so it was very difficult. But immediately we started asking, where can I find information?
Yeah.
And so Auntie West's place, the Autism Awareness Care and Training Center, she's done an amazing job with the kids. I went there. In fact, that day also I broke down.
Yeah.
The first child I met was in helmet. So I asked, why is this child helmet? There's so be a motor helmet. Now I was, and then I learned, he was hitting himself, so to protect him.
Yeah.
I said, when I left there, I was like, West, and you understand? Sometimes, and this happens a lot of the time, people look at their channel like, oh, the West, your child is not. Sister, free. Okay, so yeah, I'm sure you can hear that. Anyway, and I saw I got really sad. So when I came back, I started looking for information, but she actually sat me down, and that really helped a lot too. She sat me down, spoke to me, and assured me. But all that I wanted to hear from all the counseling I got was, your child is going to be fine in the next month or two.
Right? Treatment.
This was and so, my husband said, it looks like it's becoming difficult. Yeah, it's not potty trained. She's now turning 7. No school is ready to, accept her. And it was very difficult. So maybe I would continue teaching. You have to stop and take care of this girl going, moving up and down. And so I think that was also another very difficult time for me, because when the house helps or the nannies come, it was quite difficult. Why is your child 6 years, 7 years, and she's still not potty trained? Myself, I don't even understand what this is. I'm trying to look for medication to cure this autism. And I don't know if it's good to say this one, but it was one of the most embarrassing. I had a lot of constipation.
Yeah.
And so sometimes she would go like 4 or 5 days without, using the toilet. And when she wants to do it, wherever she wants to do it, you just want to leave her to have it done. And she chose no place like my kitchen.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
That one is something I don't even want to remember.
Yeah.
So she would do this either at my kitchen or her sitting room or on my bed. Yeah. Not once, not twice, several times.
Yeah.
And it took 9 years for us to get her potty trained. Wow. And 9 years when we were still trying and struggling to potty train this girl, she was also menstruating.
Oh no!
Yes.
Oh no!
Yes.
No.
Menstruating, and when she was also not potty trained.
No.
The first time I saw the menses, initially I thought, maybe a BBA charm. So, I was like, it can't be, you are only 9. And then I checked, this blood was actually in her panty. It was actually the second day. And Amma, you put the sanitary pad there, she will take it out and throw it away. So the first time, everywhere in that house was in blood. She doesn't understand. She'll just take it out and come and show it to you.
Yeah.
You hold your hands and point it there, like, what's happening here? She doesn't understand. So she was not putting it hard. So that was a great shock.
Oh,
that was a great shock to us. Anyway, maybe by some divine intervention, before she turned 10, she knew this is where I need to go and do my poo and wee. So at 9, getting to 10 years, finally, she was potty trained. And now we had to teach her that that blood she was seeing in her panty was menstruation. She didn't understand. One time we actually saw her chewing it. She was chewing the sanitary pad. Even now that she's 17, she still doesn't understand. But fortunately now we've moved from putting the sanitary pad there to using the kind of a pull-up.
Yeah.
You know, specially made for them. So it's easier now. But I don't think she even understands that, you know, I've soiled myself. We need to check and prompt her to change herself. It has not, yes, it has not been easy.
Look.
So with all the progress that we've made, which I'll talk about, you know, we still have the challenges. We still have the challenges. If I show you right here, you would notice that, you know, my chairs are broken. You know, yeah, that's her. She broke them.
Masry, please bring the camera down so you can fill it to the top, and I can put the messages down without blocking you. Yeah, a little bit more. A little bit more. That's it. So that when I put people's comments up, we can see it and it doesn't block your face. That's it. Perfect, as it is.
Yes, so it hasn't been easy. Like I said, people talk. You need to be very strong. You need to be very strong. If there's an area you can tap and get this kind of strength, it's really to be in a parent support group.
Yeah.
It's like a lifeline. You know, having same-minded people who are going through similar challenges. So you know you are not alone. You understand? You know you are not alone. You have a child who is not sleeping throughout the night. You have a child who is not potty trained. And then you may even have a child who is a picky eater. So all the regular foods you give to a child, this child will not eat. At 17, she is now beginning to eat mangoes and fruits, and she didn't like these things. We were lucky, you know. A lot of the foods that were given, she would eat. But I have worked with children who practically wants nothing except maybe Pringles or chips or just jollof. That's all. Jollof 7 days a week, 360 or whatever number of days for a year. The challenges are endless. One, even finding the right school for your child. Here you are. What kind of therapy even works for your child? You need a speech therapist. You need an occupational therapist. You need a facilitator. You need an ABA therapist. You need someone. Where are you going to find all this money? For instance, people are charging between 80 cedis to 150 Ghana cedis for 1 hour session.
Oh, but that's all right. 15 years ago when we started, the best speech therapy where I was 350 pounds for a 30-minute session. 30 minutes. 30 minutes.
And let's take my case as you know, as a case study. I'm a teacher. I earn between $1,500 and $1,700 a month, which is like $300 for the whole month. Okay, I'm just being very practical.
Please be.
So $300 is even $1,800, but let's even stay within that range. How are you going to pay this therapist?
Yeah.
And then they tell you your child may need to go on organic diet or good nutrition.
Excellent.
How do you pay for this? You have other children. You don't have your own house. You are renting. This one parent, how do you do it? Now, just as you see a shoe room, morning. So, my sister, it is not easy. I have been fortunate enough to have a husband who supports. But trust me, we have over 50 children at my center, where I work. And separation and divorce among the parents.
I was about to say.
Yes, very hard.
You were told when I first went to see the first therapist, that the person says to me, if your marriage is
water.
If your marriage is important, if you value your marriage, the two of you need to sit down and you have to have some frank, honest conversations. You need to be very open about it, because by the end, by the time, the statistics was like by 90% of those marriages break down before diagnosis. And it takes about 18 months to 24 months on the average for diagnosis to be complete. By the time diagnosis is done, you will be divorced. And I looked at this woman like, what? And she says, yes, I'm telling you, so it doesn't surprise you. I want you to know what's coming. And I want you to prepare your mind, because you will go to some of these meetings and you come back so raw and you come back so angry. They will say things about your child, and it's so unpalatable. It's so difficult to take. And then if you are careful, you will start looking at everybody's family lines and you will start diagnosing people in your spouse's family. This is not from my family. This must be from your family. That's one of the first things that a lot of people begin to do.
Thank you very much. That's it. She's actually waiting, so I finished it. This is not open my breath.
She wants her water back. You were only getting.
You know, in her mind, I cannot place the water on it. It has to be in the fridge.
Yeah.
So I need to finish and then she'll take it back.
Exactly. And we will talk about these processing differences. Remember, I am actually telling you a story which is triumphant. What Sister Mary has done with Nanaya is unprecedented. And I told you the other time, one of the things I love is that you've actually managed to find Nanaya a career. Nanaya, because of that career, will have her income all her life. Whether you are there or not, she would have an income, and so she can afford round-the-clock help. And that, for me, is one of the most incredible things you've done for her. So you've not raised a dependent kid, regardless of what the conditions are. You've actually found a way to set her up for life. She will not depend on other people. People who work with her would be receiving a salary whilst they do that. And that is one of the big differences between a lot of the children and what you've done for her. It's amazing, amazing. How you talk about it, we're going to go, this is a Victor story. I'm not telling you a pity story at all. But we started from the beginning. I know some of you from my parents' group, there are a few people I know who have children on the spectrum, some of them undergoing diagnosis. And so I want Aunt Mary and I to talk so that the process is not alien to you. The difficulties coming. I always say to people I mentor, get yourself a few boxes of tissue. You will need it. You will need it. Because you can't. People, when the reports come and you read those reports, oh my God, your child will never be able to do this. Your child will not be able to do this. This is going to be impossible. When you see the list of impossibilities, it takes divine intervention to keep going. And so I want you to look at Anaya. I want you to see the progress of Anaya. And I want you to be inspired. Inspired. Yes, parent group is the best advocacy when you talk with people who are going through it and those who have been through it. And people can tell you to chin up. It will be fine. You're heading towards the end now because it's a long journey. When there's somebody to tell you you are almost at the end, diagnosis will clarify a few things. So you are not afraid all the time. So Aunt Mary has mentioned some of the fears. Let's talk some more. Apart from the fear of other people's opinion, as a parent, what fears do you have for Nanaya? What fears do you have? Let's start from the past. What did you fear in the start and in the early stage?
Even now, there are some fears, you know.
Of course, some will be there.
Ujana, you know, she's so vulnerable. Amma, she's so vulnerable. She has no sense of danger. You understand? Yeah. So sometimes, you know, you are like, oh, baby, me and Repuno.
Yeah.
You know, if she finds herself in an environment these days it's not that easy. So that fear is there. If you're not there to protect her. Another fear I have is my sons will get married someday. Would their wives accept my daughter? You understand? If I'm no more, would they be able to allow their husband, in quote, or my sons, to really be attending to my daughter? So I have all these fears. What happens to her? She doesn't understand money. She doesn't know the value of money. Cognitively, let me put that on record, and I pray, I know that with time, with therapy, doing the right thing, supporting her, this is likely to change. But right now, cognitively, yeah, it's quite low. In fact, regardless of all the beautiful pictures that you see, sometimes those nice poses that you see, I'm standing behind the photographer, blowing bubbles, throwing water on her, shouting and jumping. So we get all this. She doesn't just go and stand there perfectly to take these pictures. No. So though we have made a lot of progress, there are also a lot of challenges. You understand? She has no sense of danger. She just trusts anybody around her. A lot of the time, she needs a lot of prompt to do things for herself. And if she,
wow,
yes,
wow,
and yes,
wow.
I'll be honest and frank with you. And I have done, taking time off, just sitting here. She'll take the sponge and she'll start from here. She'll do 1 hour. Before you say, move here, another 1 hour. Then here, or the chichi floor, but I'm not giving up. I know these things takes time. You also need to understand how she's developing, cognitively and all that. So sometimes you don't want to push too much at a time. At first, we had to even feed her. Now she's eating by herself. Hey, now she even uses the fork and knife perfectly. Okay. So, it's one day at a time. She does help a little bit at the kitchen, bring this, bring water, that kind of. But when it comes to things like really knowing that we are cooking, this is the ingredients, and we haven't gotten there. And a few times I've just gone out with her. Nah, me challenge and kakra. How do you say that in English? I just run off where she cannot really see where, just to see whether she can locate where we stay. And she'll just be standing there. So then I come and say, hey, I'm here. Then she'll just run to you like, don't run away, don't leave. But it's kind of, she still doesn't understand. Where do we stay? We pass through this way, and so it's difficult. I have a lot of fears. And like I said, one of those fears, it's what happens to her when I die.
Good question.
I wish that, in fact, I pray, and I know this is a bit crazy, but if she doesn't get married, maybe someday I'm thinking of IVF.
Okay. But your dreams for her are amazing. You've never given up on her, and that's the key thing.
Look, even now, I think that somebody will marry her.
Looking at what do you mean, even now? When she sits behind that camera, you will find the world is changing, and people's perceptions are shifting. You will find that other people, there are people who also get attracted to people so they can take care of them. So you never know. You might find somebody who wants beautiful just to take care of her. A lot of things are possible. She's sharing. Hello, Stella. Gifty, I am not laughing because it's funny. Remember, what she's describing is a path I've walked before. So I'm not coming from the comfort of blissful ignorance here. I've walked that path before. Sometimes I laugh because it's the only option I have. It's between laughing and crying suits me. So I am choosing to laugh as a deflection technique. Doesn't necessarily mean it's funny. It's not. If Auntie Mary would tell you, talking about these things, even retrospectively, is raw. It is still very raw. There's nothing funny about it, for sure. But I'm trying to make light of it so it's not gloomy. That's the point. Listen, your fears for me, It was my only, still my only son, the first child. Everybody's academic in my home. So when they first told me that this boy could not go to normal school, he has to go to special school, I was suicidal that day. Special school? What the hell is that? How would you tell anybody he's in special school? And the car will come to my house and pick this child. And everybody will see the special school signage on the car in front of my house. And what I said, God forbid, God forbid, God forbid. Actually, for us, therapy and intervention, we still don't know. I still can't tell you what it was. In my own behaviors, I have a lot of funny things, and it makes some sense when you look. It's better you moved her abroad. What difference will it make, Gifty? Do you think it will make a big difference? I don't think so. Where she is and the treatment she has and what her mom offers and offers other people is just as good. We'll come to that side. But for me, I started looking at myself and I started looking at my husband. And really, when I first started looking at myself and my husband, I was expecting me to be normal and to start finding all the things from my husband's side. So I could point and I could tell him, it's not from me, it's from you. And then I started looking at the symptoms. I don't like overstimulation at all. So when I go to the crowd and everybody is in your face, you will find
yeah, go for my glasses. Glasses.
Glasses. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Now overstimulated. Now you can see I get overstimulated easy. My light here, you can already see I'm doing that with light. When light focuses on me, I've got some kind of photophobia. I don't like it much. It makes it funny. And then I started finding all these little strange behaviors, and I remembered my mom. My mom would tell me to put my hands in my pocket. My mom would tell me to not say certain things. Filter before you speak. Filter before you speak. And I began to see that it was not from my husband's side of the family, it's from me. Whatever it was from me. And the reason why I have become all the things I've become was because my mom was very skilled in overcoming some of these things. And then I started thinking back to some of the things she would not let me do. Some things that she would be so angry if I did. Some of the things that I used to say, the things she would not let me say. And then it clicked. And that's what really helped me. Just as my mom had overcome and overridden and managed to get me where I was, I began to see that it would be possible because after all, it would be the same thing. It is possible for you to use some of these augmenting therapies to help him overcome. So let's come back. Yeah. I don't think it's always just about moving abroad, Gifty. I think sometimes it's about changing things for yourself. Aunt Mary has a powerful story. So she's telling you the beginning. She's not got to what she's done as the result. So now
we did abroad. I've sent her 3 times. Oh,
I know.
My husband sold his car so we could travel abroad. We added it. Oh, first we're in Massachusetts. I stayed there with her for 1 month, going for therapy. Then we went the second time to New Hampshire. There's a place in New Hampshire called Vermont in the US. We stayed there. Then later we came back, and then we also, there was a doctor in New Jersey. He said, oh, he's so good. You go and do detox, all those things. We went. It was after the 3rd time I said, look, because you go, you stay, sometimes you can't stay with friends. They want to sleep. Your daughter is making all these. It's not easy. We did that. We did blood work. We paid over $2,500. We did a full blood count. We did all that. Not that, And then even when we had to go, initially I was so much afraid. Is they are going to cope with the flight. So we had to go to Delta Airlines. We got the pass. They gave us somebody to go with us. And it's funny. I got my melatonin, 10 milligrams, 3 of them. And I was ready to give it to Ya at 9:30, that around those times, I think last year, it would take off around 10:15, 10:30. My sister, we got to the airport, I forgot about the melatonin.
Oh.
My daughter stood in the flight, practically from Ghana, 9 hours, 45 minutes to JFK. When we got down, her pants and everything was full of blood. I think maybe, I don't know whether it was a takeoff or the shock of, I don't know what. She was just bleeding. So we were in this line. And sometimes when you want to talk to people, like, please, can we escape? Nobody was listening. So she was just, in blood. That was the last time I said, look, I am done. I am not taking her to see anybody anymore. And here we are. So it's not like we have done that. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not saying there's nothing. No, not at all. That's not it. But sometimes you can become so frustrated, and in your attempt to cure the autism, you become bankrupt.
You don't manage.
Yes. We saw practically everything. And sometimes I wish somebody had been there to tell me, take it easy on yourself. Learn as much. It's a spectrum. What works from one child may not work for the other child. That's why we say the parent is the best resource for this child. Okay? Some children are eating rice, they are okay, meat, everything is fine. Let Ya, take meat right now. She goes so wild like a dog. And so I know this is not for her. Sometimes when we do, and this thing we put in food, in Ghana we call it kewe. We use it in okro. What's the name?
Saltpeter.
It's called what?
Saltpeter.
Thank you. If she or I give her anything containing that,
no
trouble.
You will have the same thing with bicarb soda as well. Yeah.
There you go. She reacts so, and I didn't know the way I want to have my okro. There you go. Sometimes there are things that you need to forgo for the sake of this child. And you ask yourself, for how much would people deny themselves for the sake of this one child? This one child that we stay with, we cannot have oats in this house. We cannot have sugar. You cannot have, a whole lot. The list is endless. Sometimes I just want to eat everything I want to eat and be free. I love my Coca-Cola and all that. But for her sake,
you can't. You can't.
There
You can't. It's not even possible.
For one child.
It's the most important child. Obapa wants to know some signs and symptoms, and then we'll come back and we'll talk the story. Please listen before she speaks. A lot of you will do this when you listen to a show like that. You will self-diagnose. You will drive yourself crazy. Don't do that. It might just be indicative. And even if it's indicative, you have to go see a specialist. You cannot diagnose. Repeat one more time. You cannot diagnose. So before she says so, make sure that is secure in your head. It's only indicative. It is not prescriptive, not at all. Okay.
And so she's asking about some of the signs. And like we said, we are only telling, if you see some of these things, just don't sit down. Go for further assessment and evaluation. But some of the signs that you should be looking at, number one, if you have a child who is 3 years and they I'm not going to even use the word talking, if they are not communicating. Okay? So if you have a child who is 3 years and they cannot communicate with you, it's a question mark. If you have a child who wants to play by themselves all the time, or maybe 80-90% of the time, so this child wants to play by themselves. They don't want to go and, mingle or socialize with other children, but they want to play by themselves, what we call solo play. If you have a child who is doing that, it's a question mark. If you have a child who has some repetitive behavior, okay, so even as we talk, you will see Ya going up and down from one end of this room to the other end, going up and down, or some, flapping of their arms, or running in circles, or, some kind of repetitive behavior. it's a question mark. Now look at her. You see that she's holding one particular, you see she's holding something. Can you see that?
Yeah.
This she will do for the whole day. She's just holding on to one, of the hairpiece, and she will do this the whole day. You see, now she's telling me not to do that because as if she's the only one who has the right.
It's her style. Stop mimicking.
You saw the way she came, like, don't touch your hair. I am the one touching my hair. Okay. So repetitive behavior, please, is a question mark. Okay. Now, if you have a child who is not giving you good eye contact, so when you speak to children, you see the way they look at you and they listen. Now, if this child is not giving you good eye contact, it's a question mark. Okay. If a child is not responding to their name when you call them, or if your voice does not arrest their attention. Okay. So I called Nanaya. She said me, all right. Now she can respond very well to her name. But before, like you call her, she's all over the place. She's not really responding to her name. It's a question mark. Again, please, we are not saying if your child is not responding to their name, they are playing by themselves, they are not giving you good eye contact, they have repetitive behavior, they have autism. We are saying that there's a question mark. Don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
yes. Okay. Now, also, like I said, some of them have sensory issues. So sometimes you may find a child who, when they hear the sound of the blender or the fan or anything, they go like, blocking that sound. So you might find them wanting to, cover their ears from outside or their eye. Please, these are question marks. Okay, do not just stay. And like we always say, early intervention is key. Okay, early intervention is key. So one, you need to have a child who is having or showing some of these signs. Now remember that it could be communication. Okay, so they are not responding to their name, they are not talking to you. So if, for instance, a child who is just 3 years, they can say mama, dada, food, at least they can use some keywords to communicate their needs. You have a child who is 3 years and they are not saying anything. They are just not saying anything, just looking at you. It's a question mark. Or they could also have challenges with either communication or social skills. So like I said, this child wants to play by themselves. They are not giving you good eye contact. They are not waving bye-bye when you call them. It looks like sometimes they do not even have a sense of the environment they find themselves in. Okay, so they are all over the place, not paying attention to you, not playing with other kids. They want to hold on to their toys, not wanting to share. And remember, sharing is one of the things that a lot of the times our children may have difficulty with. Again, we say that it's a spectrum disorder. A child may have sensory issues, they may have communication issues, they may not have, issues with social interaction. So again, you need to watch very well. And then finally, if you have a child who does not really understand words in its context. So for instance, you speak to them and the meaning you would expect, or you'll expect some response from this child when you speak to them. Okay, so like somebody would give the example of it's raining cats and dogs, and they're actually expecting to see the rains coming out with cats and dogs. It wouldn't happen that way. But it's very difficult for them to understand idioms and expressions. But again, exactly, they take it as it. So you need to be very careful. Even with Yah now she's beginning to understand a lot of things, but you need to really be careful what you are saying to them. So for instance, instead of giving Yah 2 instructions at the same time, I would say go bring water. I'd first ask her, once I see that I've gotten her attention, then I say water. I don't even say go and bring water. I just say water and she understands. Sit, she understands. Go, back. That kind of. At this moment, I'm using a lot of what you call one key word. to communicate. Like Aisha is rightly saying, early intervention is key. Remember, when a child is young, it's very easy for you to really push and let them do some of the things you want them to do. When they are growing up and she's almost like an adult like I have here, it is very difficult pushing some of these things. Again, she may be used to some of these things, okay? Because you did not start the intervention early. Around 6, 7 years, she's used to crying to get her needs. She's used to crying to get your attention. So that is all she knows. And remember, they are very intelligent.
Yeah.
Anytime I pull all the curtains down, I see mommy running to my direction. So whenever I want something, I'll start pulling the curtains down. Okay? Or anytime I break something or I take something and throw away, the whole house will start running to where I am. So they find a way to communicate without having the right words. But of course, you and I know that we don't break things to get our attention. I don't cry, to Mama because I want something. I need to learn to communicate. Now, communication is not just about words. Communication, it's about hearing my voice, understanding what I'm saying, processing that information. Communication is about my body language. So right now, I can look at Ama's face and I can like, Mary, you are talking too much. Pause, let Ama come in. Body language. You understand? I can understand that. Tone of voice.
Yeah.
Sign language. It's all a part of communication. And this is very important. Then again, you also need to look at the behavior. Okay, the behavior of that child. So before you say a child or you diagnose a child with autism, you can't just sit in your house and say, oh, I called her, she didn't mind me, he has autism. Okay, no. I've had a lot of parents saying, oh, when there's that advert played on TV, I can see my daughter running to go and stand. Remember, when they have that interest, regardless of what it is, it's effortless. They'll just run towards that, thing that they want. But if it's other things, they will not mind you.
Hope for intervention. That's your hope. So for me, one of the things we did, speech was the last thing we developed. But I realized that he's a writer. He is really good with numbers.
Yes.
And so we started with a board pen and a marker. And I sent him to nursery with a board pen and a marker. There was no iPad at the time. That was my one redeeming thing. And the teacher was busy writing, doing things, and he would spell everybody's name and hold it up. He was around 4. He started writing, and when the teacher wanted to do early sums, they found that he could add anything, multiply anything, work things out. And then the teacher began to see that he was very intelligent even when he was not speaking. So what he would start doing is write things that he would have said. Started writing them on the board and holding the board. The teacher and him finally began to communicate. The teacher spoke, he wrote. And then eventually eye contact were established. But when you find a child's interest, when you find a child's strength, it is their redeeming feature. Because of math, and because of spellings, the other kids also began to notice that he's clever. So what used to be that he would sit by himself and all the other kids would sit away from him. Then he started writing and all the kids started drawing close to him to see what he was writing. And then they saw he had the correct answer. So everybody wanted to sit with him so they could copy. And that's how he started making friends. And then the kids began, so he's a bit quiet and shy. They would make space for him. Come and sit here. They started including him in things. And then the recovery, the redemption began. And if we hadn't found that interest in numbers and in writing ability, it would have been a disaster in school. The teachers would have assumed a lot of things. The kids would have assumed a lot of things. And they would have ostracized him really in school. And for me, that was one of my greatest fears, that he would go into school and not make any friends and be ostracized and on his own. And he would have killed me to hear. But that whiteboard and a board marker, one access to, allowed so many avenues to connect. And that was redemption. When people started saying he was clever, and people started giving him things because he was clever. When he finally overcome his speaking ability, they will have him spell things and explain things, and it's been like that. But you have to find that one thing your child likes, and you really have to develop that thing and build some confidence and use that thing as a tap into other social avenues. What did you find? How did you know Nana would be good as a model? How did you come up with that one?
Okay, so before I go there, Millicent has said something that is very important.
Yeah.
Now remember that every behavior has intent for communication. Okay, so they don't just do or they don't throw tantrums just because they want to throw tantrums. There's an intent to communicate something. So that is very important. So if a child is crying, they are trying to communicate something. Pay attention to that behavior. What happened before the behavior? What happened during the behavior? And then what happened after the behavior? These are very important. Thank you very much, Millicent. So back to your question, how did I know that I could model?
Yeah.
Na adi wenye kasa o kasa. Yanko school won't even kobi. So I looked at her and I said, this girl is very beautiful.
Really?
She has this, her skin. Ama, not because she's my daughter, but she has this beautiful. So I was like, okay, at least if you have to be a photo model, you don't need a lot of voice. All you need is show up with a beautiful face, dress up to what the people expect. So I actually started with a photographer. So we used to go there 3 times every week. And I did this consistently for 1 year. I have a whole album, 1 year album. Give me a minute.
Okay. She is beautiful. But I want her to go there with you. Listen to what she said. A whole year.
So you see, this mother here is very crazy. This is my first year album of Nanaya with all the poses that are not so good, okay? And it reminds me of where we were and where we have gotten to, okay? This is a second year album of just poses. And again, sometimes it just...
It's one of my favorites, I have to say. The one on the back of that case.
So like I show you here, I look at it and say, look, it's getting better. So like you see here, this is the first month of getting the right poses.
Yeah.
February of getting the right poses. This I did for myself, just to remind me that it's not going to be the same forever. This is our 3rd month of getting the right poses. Okay, so this is January to December 2019. Okay, I am on the 2020. And if you compare that to the first year, you would notice a lot of progress.
Yeah.
So after 1 year, I was spending quite a lot because every week you go, and I said, look, let's strike a deal. I'll get you a professional camera, a very good one, the E series, Nikon E series. And it did really cost us a lot. I think more than $2,000. I said, look, and I said, we are giving you this. Work with this. Whatever you get from it, it's for you. But anytime I need you to take a picture of my daughter, you have to be available. So we had kind of a deal because we noticed that anytime I needed to take pictures of her, you cannot rush her. You cannot rush her. We can sit there in the morning and she'll only be in the mood to wanting to take the picture around afternoon. And we needed all that patience for her. So this gentleman really did an amazing job. So I noticed that if I support what he is doing, then he would also give me more of it. I needed something for him. He also needed something. So it was kind of a barter trade. And it worked perfectly well. Can you believe that if I want to take a picture of her, she will not pose for me. But if she sees the gentleman coming, she herself will start, smile. Anyway, that's how he calls the gentleman. Smile. He calls the gentleman because, that's what he says to her when they want to take pictures. And so after 2 years, we noticed that we're getting some amazing pictures with some very good eye contact. And then we're trying different locations. Sometimes we travel to Abri. Sometimes we travel outside Accra just to go to a place she doesn't really know that we haven't prepared her for. And it wasn't easy, but she's getting, now that there's corona that we don't go out, can you believe that she seems to be losing a lot of those skills?
Yeah.
Means that one thing that she's able to do now, even if consistently you don't support it, they are likely to lose that very thing. And this is what I call it, you go 5 steps forward and sometimes you take 10 steps back.
Yeah.
That is autism for you.
Yeah.
You need to take it a day at a time. So that is how it started. And now she's doing very well. And we hope that very, very soon you start seeing, on the billboards. We've had a few, a few contracts. So we are hoping. Yes, we've had a few contracts. And we've had the BBC come in to cover her story. We have VOA come in to cover her story. Who knows?
You've done amazing for that girl. And like I said to you the other time, you set her up with a career. You have found her a niche. And that is what will give her a voice, because she will not depend on people for money. She can pay people to take care of her. And it's a gift. It's a gift, because if you are not able to do that and make your child self-sufficient, it's scary. Who will be willing to do it for free? Not many people. But if she has her own money, if she has her own resources, people will be willing to do things. Oh, they are routine people. Of course, they are routine people. You can't do things like that. De-skilling, as Auntie Mary said, is a big deal. Big deal. And you have to reinforce more constantly than for an average child. Otherwise, they will de-skill. They will go very quickly. Just as they pick things quickly, can they lose them very, very quickly? Yes, she is my heroine as well. She's amazing. What she's done with that young lady, the vision of what she does, and especially where she is. Those of us who live abroad, sometimes you have health personnel and you have other people in schools who will force you down a particular road and they will support you and whatnot. But in Ghana, you will have to make your own. You will have to create your own. So Auntie Mary, you said something about running a center. How did that happen? How did you end up in a center?
So, like I said earlier, I was working with a center called Amoah 2. I worked with them for close to 12 years. So when I was very young, around 4 or 5. So, and this center supports children between the ages of 2, 3 up to 9, 10. So when she turned 11, she was very huge among these little ones. And so I stopped, and then I got myself a caregiver who was coming home. Later, we got her a room to stay with us. All that she needed to do was in the morning, we had a timetable for her. I had a report book where they need to write or document what she was doing. We sat down with her and we drew our target. So we're working on requesting, being able to wash her plate, just basic, simple targets that we gave to this girl. Everything was going fine. So usually I'll leave here with her in the morning and then I'll go to this center where I was working. Now, 2018, and this was 29th of, I think it was June, 29th of June. It rained heavily. It rained heavily that day. So instead of closing at 3 o'clock, I was still at the center, making sure that the parents had come for their children before I go home. And because it was raining, my husband also teaches science at Atwater School. I think he was also kept in, because it was very heavy. So when I got home around 5:15, apparently when she finished whatever they were doing with, she was doing with Yaa, instead of holding Yaa's hand, and it was just a few yards away from where her room was. Instead of walking Yaa to where we stay, she only asked Yaa to go. And it was raining. So Yaa got to the entrance to her, the door to her room, and she was just standing there. Nothing even clicked that she could, she should knock. There was nobody in the house. So it was the father that came first. And my husband said, she came to meet Ya standing in the rain. This girl had just gone in and was sleeping. And then said, oh, ma, na me kaso beti me akura demo. So Ya was practically in the rain for almost 2 hours, and she was just shivering. That day we wept. It was the end of it. The next day, I just said, Madam, pack your things, thank you. You know, Ya was all right. She was in the house all right, but nothing even clear that she should knock. And there was nobody in the house. Because usually I close at 3. By 3:30 p.m., I'm in the house. Because of the rains that day, I did not come early. I needed to wait for the parents. And my husband was also at school. And Ya was standing in the rain. Not even the rain. If anybody had passed by and had just called her, just quit, just asked her to join, Ya would have just followed. Anything at all would have happened to her. I remember very well when she was 8 years, she got missing at Amoah school. We got all the security people to look around. Everybody was just, because the Amoah forest.
Yeah.
If she walked in there, how are we even going to find her? God is so good. You know where we found my daughter? She had walked into the music school during classes time and was in there listening. Nobody noticed her. So when we're asking around, somebody said, I saw a girl in pink. She walked this way. We found her at the music school. My daughter loves music. As to how she knew, that was where they have music lessons, I have no idea. So we've had that experience of her getting missing before. And now this other one came in. So when that happened, we just sat down that night and said, no, we just need to just get a small place, even if it's just 2 rooms, and get a few other kids to join in. But this was just for adults, above the age of 14. And so that's how it started. Before we knew, we are already 40 and above.
That's amazing. What's the name of the center?
It's called Clicks Africa Foundation, a very homely environment that you would love. And, the parents, I think one of our strengths as a center is a parent support group and parent training. I strongly believe so much in the power of the parent, what the parent would be able to do for their child. And so training the parent, it's one of the areas that I think it's a strength for us.
I mean, listen, I don't know about the rest of you. I just want to be sure that you are hearing what she says. Yesterday, I met with Dr. Kwesi, Addison, and we were talking about adversity meaning nothing. Adversity is actually an opportunity. It really is. A lot of us don't recognize it. So when we experience adversity, we just throw a pity party, we cry our eyes out, we tell people to feel sorry for us, and that's the end of the story. But for most people who understand, adversity is a call to get great. So she has a problem with her daughter. She has to find a solution for herself. But she's creative enough to start a center. And I'm sure this has become a career, hasn't it, Aunt Mary?
Do I even have a choice? It's funny. It's funny. Sometimes I sit down and I just tell myself, maybe God wanted to work on my own patience. Ama, you'll be a manisuya papa. Oh, hey, type,
Yeah.
I don't know, the Zongo kind of, that's me. You give it to me, I give it to you. That kind of. Ya has practically, tested by. Here is a child you want her to talk. Okay, not in MC.
Yeah.
Call me. I'm your mother. Say, Mama, not you to. That kind. If this doesn't teach you about patience, sometimes I'm like, maybe God, you saw how impatient I was, and maybe this is your way of teaching me about patience. And look, if you're listening to us, yes, it is not easy. It hasn't been easy. It has taken years.
Some of the
reading and listening to other people to get to. Right now, I think I'm at peace within myself. Like, it's okay to have a child who is different. You need to pray and ask God for strength, daily strength. You need to pray and ask God to surround you with people who would see the light in this tunnel, and support you. Like meeting you is a blessing, encouraging, me every day. So if there's anything that has brought me closer to God, it is Nanaya. If there's anything that has really pushed me to enjoy my marriage, it's Nanaya. Because even if I think of leaving, so, it will force you to love your husband regardless. Anyway, that's just by the way, but to be frank with you, if there's anything that has really made me understand life, it is my daughter's autism. Being humble, trusting God beyond what is humanly possible, having that faith. And it's okay in whomever you believe in, but that faith keeps you going. Sometimes her sense of appreciation baffles me sometimes.
Yeah.
Nana's sense of appreciation. She's so happy. There was this time that, I was so sad. I was so down. Even last night when we had a tremor, we were not sleeping. She was sitting on it. She was just laughing. As a young woman was so, she had no sense of what was happening. She was so happy. And so sometimes I look at her and, I said, maybe God has a reason. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello. I think there's a purpose for all this. There's a purpose for what I've gone through. There's a purpose for what I'm going through even now. It hasn't been easy. Okay, you want to look at it? You can hold it. She's looking at herself. There's okay. As for the noise, there.
Oh no, we'll live.
I think there's a purpose. She's admiring herself. There's a purpose for it, and I think if there's anything in this world that can humble you, it's autism.
It's illness. Adversity can really reduce you, but it can also discover strength.
Thank you. And so every day, what we need to ask for is strength. Is strength, the strength of God. Even the people around us, to be very positive. I keep saying that if you have a friend, if you have a child with autism or any form of disability, and you have a friend who is so negative, please flee. Don't run over. Run in the other way. Flee. Just because you do not need that negativity.
Well, I'm sorry. This condition is sucking you in anyway. And I wanted you to hear Auntie Mary. One of the reasons why I wanted people to hear you is because people always ask me, when will it end? When will it end? And if you've not worked out the difficulty, for me, one of the things that most of the people I work with complain about is the noise, and it's the sound. It's the sound. Because you can't hum it. It's there the whole time. It just that's mechanism. And yeah, you might not like it, but it's there. And if you have anybody who complain about things constantly, they will have you down. And she's right, you've got to flee. Your social circle changes completely, Auntie Mary, when you find yourself on this journey, right? What happened to your friends?
Some stayed, some are also gone. Actually, I fired some.
Tell us about it. Who did you fire and why?
It's so easy. For instance, somebody walks to you, even now, and says, and I mean, not yet condemn anybody, please, not at all. But people come and tell you, go and see Obinim, or I should go to Pastor Chris. When they say they don't give you money, Ama. They don't, you understand? And they say it as if, say, you understand? And one of the remarks, it really got to me was, maybe I say famine feature.
Hey.
Yes, like, the way I'm prayerful, you know how it's painful. You understand?
That
Yes.
comes out of somebody's
Like,
mouth.
those of us who are very prayerful, things like this will not come near.
Oh, so
My
those
sister,
happen
it
to
is
me.
the grace of God. Yes, like, so in a way, the person is trying to say, I am not prayerful enough. And there are also the group of people that believe that maybe you took some money from somebody when you were dating and you were not married. So maybe God might have punished you through, people have all these beliefs, you understand? I've actually had somebody walk to me and say, try and remember when you were a child, as a young girl, did you date somebody? Did you take something from someone? Goodness. I got married when I was 20 years. Okay. I've been married for 29 years. I can't be 1 year. I'm 30.
Oh, wow.
My husband is, yes. I married very early. Made me fit training college, but I'm papa were at woman. So what people have all these beliefs, you understand? So ignorance, like somebody just said, ignorance would make people, say all sort of things. And then there are those who also think that go to this prayer camp. And I have done things quietly without my husband knowing. There was somebody who said I should go to the market after 6 o'clock. And then when I go to the market, and when, yes, when in the evening, when people have come to the market and sold whatever they have to sell, and then the pieces of food.
Oh, no, you did not.
Yes.
They didn't.
Yeah, it says if you pick the pieces of food from the ground at the market and you cook and give to your child, it means that spiritually their destiny is not fighting with anybody. I did it.
No.
Yes, I did. I did. There was this one also that I met at trade fair who gave me handkerchiefs, white handkerchiefs, 7 of them, and said we should use a white handkerchief and I'll bath Nanaya with the white handkerchief. But after, we should walk backwards to our room. I did this. We succeeded the first day, the second, the third. The 4th day, myself and Yah, we fell. We fell down. So, as Adrona said, that one. Then there was this other one too that asked me to go to Techiman. Do you know that river between Techiman and where the waterfall Kintampo?
Yeah.
There's this river in Techiman before you get to the monastery.
Oh yes.
Yes, I went there. I fetched the water.
Oh no.
I did. Yes.
Oh no. No.
But just like the Bible says, out of ignorance, my children would perish. And autism can make you go through a lot of frustration. So you will do anything. You will do anything, sister. Because you look at all these things that you go through and somebody wanting to offer you a relief, you do it. And I'm telling you these things not because, I'm proud of, but if you're going through it, we have been there. And we even had a pastor who used to come home. Yeah, it's a Thursday, but so he would come home on Thursdays and we would pray. And so anytime sees this pastor come and say, Puyeko, where they will speak into your ear, Puyeko, and then she started calling this pastor Puyeko.
Oh.
I trust in God. I know that in God's own time, He will bring us that healing. But maybe it's also for God or for others to see what God can do. Maybe for the glory of God. I don't know what it is. I don't know why autism came into my life. But it is for a reason.
I don't think there is a maybe. Aunt Mary, I would never have met you without the autism story. You would have been an ordinary woman in a corner without it. Other people will not be learning from you as much as they are doing without it. Your life, and it's all about legacy, isn't it? The legacy you are leaving because of autism is significant in comparison to what you would have done without autism.
It needs to be where it has to be. I can't keep them.
Nope.
Be careful.
Be careful.
Be careful. Okay, take the first one. Now I have my piece. She's going to place it exactly where it needs to be.
Exactly. It's about routine, isn't it? She doesn't like shifting. But I was saying, maybe, you said maybe it was here for a purpose. I've come to know that it's not a maybe, it's an absolute certainty. For me, what was a journey with my son became a journey of patience as well. I was one of those people who thought that I was too good for certain things to happen. It teaches you humility. It really does. It teaches you humility. And yes, it's a career transforming moment, but I think, Auntie Mary, you will do many more great things because of autism. If there wasn't autism, you will not have the impact you currently are having and the more you are about to have. I think it's one of the biggest blessings, but it came starting as adversity, didn't it? She's a blessing. She really is a blessing. I hope those of you who have had the grace of watching her, those of you who are going through this journey, see her and you begin to see light at the end of the tunnel. You don't have to find a cure before you find redemption, is the point I'm trying to make. Nanaya hasn't found a cure, but she has found redemption. She's found herself a position in life. Her parents are making it very, very possible for her to live a full and complete life. You can do that for any child with a little bit of goodwill and some hard-earned cash from your pockets. So, Aunt Mary, let's talk about financing. If somebody has a child like that, what do you realistically, what would you like to tell them about money? The truth about money when you have these things on your hands?
Hey, rob a bank. Okay, now I'm being silly. Forgive me, okay? Share. Oh,
yes.
And so when I'm being silly, forgive me. But I just said it. Let's rob a bank. Anyway, that's literally to let you know that you need all the money. Because this one child, you know, sometimes when we say
yeah,
you understand, because you need to pay for, and I haven't even come to this lockdown as some crowd here. You know, we haven't even touched what it has been for the past 3 months. But be careful in your spending because you need every single penny.
Thank you.
Yes. Number one, please read, and read. Research. There are a lot of good groups on Facebook and on the internet that you can join for free. And maybe I did not even mention it earlier. I joined 52 Facebook groups. I'm here to find one that doesn't know me. And you know what I was doing? I'll just take, you know, sometimes the behavior. I'll just video a minute or 30 seconds, and then I'll post it and say, this is what my child is doing. And it's amazing how people would share.
Yeah.
You know, initially, one of the things that Yah didn't want to do was to wear clothes. She wanted to be naked all the time. I tried swimsuits. Yes. Now, I don't want to show you what she was doing, the way she would carry her body, and practically she didn't want shoes on, she didn't want clothes on. It was in one of these groups that somebody actually drew my attention and said, your child may be having, you know, sensory issues. Check the texture of the clothes that you know. And if you have to put on clothes for her, it has to be very tight, like a swimsuit. Otherwise, as soon as you put it on, she'll just take it off and throw away. And she was naked all the time. And so we started with sensory therapy. And somebody suggested I get maize, put it in a big pie. A friend is saying, "Nazo mama couple of you." Sister, me bread, but your pie daddy. Please, pie. But those of you, what is pie? You know, like a big rubber container. a big one. So one of them I should have water, another one I should have maize, then another one I should have millet or anything. Now, this is the idea. I take off the clothes, I let her sit in this big bowl of, rice or either maize. And then I try to, sprinkle it on her. Now, what she was trying to tell me was the brain needs to register that when something touches her skin, it is all right. Now, she needs to have different feel on her skin. So we started with the maize, we did with sand, we did with soapy water, warm water, and all this. And within a period of 3-4 months, she was okay with things touching her body. She could not even cope with people, like if you hug her. Even now, when you try to hug her, she'll push you away.
Yeah.
So, but I learned this from the group. You understand? And it worked perfectly. A few times I noticed she was playing with poo. And then somebody said, get something that really feels like it. And maybe the smell, I said, what could I get that smells like poo for my daughter? But when we say Morewa, condo, you know that strong smell. Sister Eben poo kakra. Condo.
Yeah.
She played with that. That also phased away. You understand? So I was picking up a lot. So you need to research. There's a lot that you can do for yourself. Because at every point in time, this child is showing different behaviors that you need to come up with strategies that would work. For instance, how did I overcome her using the sanitary pad? Somebody suggested in one of these groups that when you are, going through your menses and all right, let her watch. Let her see you changing your sanitary pad. Let her see you pulling, up your own panties. This is adult talk, so we say it as it is. And sometimes she'll look at me and then she'll start smiling. We had times that when you are using the toilet, Yah will come and say, get up, let me use it. As if she doesn't even know that, like, she didn't understand. Once she gets to the washroom or the toilet, if you are there, you haven't finished or you finish, you must get up. She needs to use it. Now she's becoming more flexible. But I learned a lot in these groups. So I would say research, because you need every penny. You need to save it. It's good to get speech therapies, get occupational therapies, but for how long will you be able to continue? In Ghana, we don't have insurance paying. It is the parent. You take that money out of your pocket. Okay, so whilst you're doing that speech therapy, sit with them. What are you working on? Why are you working on what you are working on? Have timelines. How long should I begin to? And then the continuity of the therapy that you're doing. Because you can learn something in a setting, but when you bring that same thing home, she will not do it. For instance, when we go to the center and the teacher is talking, I see the way she obeys all these instructions. When we come home, it's like, you are mommy. You only give me food. You tell me to bath. You tell me to sleep. So when I ask her to do things, she doesn't want to. So I needed to wear that hat of a teacher and say, Grace, what are you doing that is working with her? And say, Mom, when she's getting frustrated and she's beginning to shout, take her for 15 minutes walk, come back, she'll sit down. So you see, because we're constantly communicating, I could pick up a lot. That has really helped us. We haven't had any therapy come in, but because we keep on learning, every day you are able to do something. And that doesn't also mean that you should do everything by yourself. You get tired.
Say that again, please.
Yes, you get tired. You are not a robot. Neither are you a Superman. You are not. There are times that I get so sad and I sit in my room and cry. And I can quickly, see, I can identify that I'm going through a lot of stress. You understand? I get angry with everybody around me. One time my husband called and said, she said, now, what is happening? It really took somebody said, look, I think you are getting off the lane. My sister, come back. You understand? Sometimes you just want to be alone, read a book, have a pedicure. These things you need to plan it, because trust me, when you have a child with autism, even going to the salon to do your nails, you think of, oh, these 50 Ghana cedis can buy coconut oil, and I'm going to the salon to waste it. But you have your life to live. You understand? The little things that give you that joy. So as for money, anything that you can do to support, please do it. I have sold bed sheets to granite paste, to pencils, machi bahire. Okay, I have fried yam at other school. You understand? Anything that you can do to survive. Maton kwalanta de, mother care clothes for children. What haven't I done? You understand? I can't say meswa pure water, nasa. But what I'm trying to say is anything at all that can help you to fill your cup, please do it, because you need everything. And don't jump into any intervention or therapies that you hear of. Please research about it. I'm here to tell you the truth. I've had some of these people, and I won't mention names, who have called me and say, if you can, stamp on this thing for us in your group, you stand to get this man. And I have vowed, God is my witness. I said, I will not take advantage of parents. There are a lot of things going on. People are selling snake oil, literally, things that they say, please be careful. Anything that you want to do, research about it. Ask questions. In this group on Facebook, ask them, did this work for your child? What did you do? Please ask questions. Don't just jump in to do this and that. Otherwise, before you realize, you are bankrupt. Because you need money to pay house helps. You need money to pay the driver. Most of our children, you sit in the trotro, for instance. If you sit in the trotro, big trouble. She's pushing everybody. You shouldn't come closer to her.
That trotro is stressful, even for everybody. Come on.
But sister, 80-90% of Ghanaians, that is our source of transport. So you see how difficult it is. Uber is not easy to pay. So you need every penny. So please, before you pay for these interventions, and read. There are a lot of, there's TACA website that gives a lot of information. Talk about curing autism. Free information. There's Autism Speaks. There's, British Association of Autism. All these, please go on the net, read and read. And there are a lot of groups on WhatsApp too. We have the Autism Society of Ghana. We have Warrior Moms we have different society, differently talented society of Kenya. In fact, I'm in all these groups. I'm in the South African one, the Kenyan one, the Nigerian one, the Ghana one. You understand? And I've been praying to see the breaking news: cure for autism found.
Aunt Mary, that day will be an amazing day. But before you go, I want to talk about something. This thing about tasting your daughter's skin, your child's skin, when your kid is autistic, that salty taste and what it means. I just want to hit on that a little bit before I let you go. Have you heard that one before? Of their skin becoming a bit more saltier when they are retaining toxins?
Yes.
Let's talk about that one a little bit. What does that mean? And what do parents do with that information?
What do I say? Personally, for instance, sometimes when, for instance, even with my own skin, and when it's salty, that of course, the skin is not able to take in a lot of oxygen. And so you begin to think of detox. I have just a small garden here, but I have mint, I have miracle leaves, and of course in Ghana, as for neem tree, is everywhere. But herbs does help a lot. So detox is extremely important, but I try not to really go in. These are medical things, and I only talk from a parent point of view. You understand? So I try very careful not to shift, but it does really help, especially when the skin becomes very salty. You definitely know that something is not right, especially if Yah has constipation. I know that deep down, digestion is not taking place very well the way I expect. So I quickly look at what I'm giving her. Too much carbohydrates. And sometimes I see her, Menka, and I'm Menka.
Can they free?
Or
Don't
a lot of the time, it's yeast. You understand? A lot of the times when I check what she's eating, I take out about 80% of carbohydrates. It goes away. We do a lot of vegetables. I try, and those parents, parents in Ghana, please take advantage. We have a lot of organic stuff here. Kontomire, ayoyo, lefi, all these, they are very important. And they are very cheap. Those ones, 1 cedi, 2 cedi, so. But, sometimes we want to let people know that we have arrived. So we go for the pizzas and at the mall. Please, I do some too. I'm not here talking blah, blah, blah. I do some. But you know that these are very refined and, you have hardly any nutrients. You want to, like my friend would say, let your children eat like your grandparents ate. In those days, there were no fried rice and all these. I don't want to mention the names before people start, but give them organic food. Man, you understand? We have a lot here. In Camphor, Ama, you know what in Camphor is?
Oh, yes.
You know that one?
Yes,
I don't know the English.
No, me.
It looks like potato, but this one is yellowish.
I think it's potato, isn't it?
Okay, so we have a lot. God did not put us here, just like that. What we have here is good for our own consumption. Let us eat and eat well. So let's feed them and feed them well. It will save you a lot of money.
A lot of hassle too. Because constipation with these kids, it's not funny when they are constipated, is it? Trying to get them to override an episode of constipation, it's a lot of wahala. When they are uncomfortable, you will have a lot of issues to deal with. Oh, comfort. I am so glad you came. I was going to tag you when we finished. So I am here with Auntie Mary. We are talking autism and all the things he needs. Aisha is throwing out gluten-free.
Yes.
Gluten-free food. And they are not cheap.
That's a lot in Ghana.
It costs a lot everywhere, Auntie Mary.
Yeah.
The other time I went and bought these breadsticks, and Nana was asking me, so what's actually in it? Nana, what was the thing with the breadsticks again? He says it's gluten-free, it is this free, GMO-free, everything free. So what is it?
Mother. So we have a lot. Let's take advantage. We have a lot here. Tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, like I said, Ngotomri, now it's in season. All these things, are very. So all these things, let's take advantage. You understand? Eating healthy, it doesn't always have to cost, because I had a parent calling me, where can I find broccoli? I'm sister, what you can help a broccoli? What you can help a broccoli? I didn't mean we can do your economy at the end of the Nagana Yemia broccoli, say. Anyway, 1 city. Be practical. This is 1 Ghana. A walk way, and they are near to you. Look, we have a lot here. Let's make use of it. What you are saying. Open broccoli, I can see a list of the foods. You understand? So let's utilize what we have here. You have your kontomire here. Even cassava leaves, we eat that one.
Yes. And it's actually more than
nutritious. All these things are very, dawa is very cheap here. You can also use that as well. So let's use that and save the money for other things.
So we shouldn't buy spinach.
Oh, it's good. Even as I sit here, I have my bell pepper and everything. It's good, but like I said, sometimes when the literature that is written on gluten-free cases, it's all foreign.
Yeah.
And the parents are looking for all these broccoli. There's this other one that looks like acheke. What's the name? It's like rice.
Couscous. Or no, it's not couscous. It could be wait.
It's like, you boil it like rice, but it's very expensive, nutritious.
Quinoa.
Thank you. Edinia kind of saying.
Quinoa.
Brunina me quinoa. What do I say? But there is mpo, there is afasie, there is bare. You know all these things. You understand? Yes. So sometimes we look at all this because there isn't much written on these things. We go and look for quinoa to replace the rice. You know, acheke is low in all these starchy because acheke you know they strain the starch.
Yeah.
Yes. So you don't want to do heavy fufu and the rest. You can resort to your acheke. You understand? It can replace and even the acheke, you can make it and it becomes like couscous. Yeah. You at a restaurant and you eat it nicely. Cooking is an art. Make it nice, present it, and let your child enjoy. But you are sitting in Accra looking for what is the name? King what? Somebody said it. Asobahire. There's asobahire here.
Yeah.
And you're looking for quinoa. You don't want to waste the little that you understand. You're looking for broccoli.
Maybe spinach. But
let's be Ghanaians and let's use what we have. There's a lot of organic. When you go to the market, you can get a lot of these things. Thank you very much, my dear.
Honestly, it's very informative. If you joined in the middle, I recommend you go back and watch it. So Sister Mary and I, we will put a few things together. This one was just an intro, so you guys will see what she does. Those of you who want to get in contact with Auntie Mary, get in touch with me. Auntie Mary, I want to recommend that we do a little bit of an online parent support group. People who maybe you might come on, but it's mainly self-help, so that people in there can generate. If you have one already and we put out for people to come join, let me know and I'll put it out so people can come and tap into your experience and tap into your knowledge, so that we recycle, because there's no point reinventing the wheel. There's no need.
And you know, okay, and we have some of our children who will not, they want to eat one thing at the same time. You know, I go to Tema and a whole box of herrings, amane, it's 150 Ghana cedis. It's a lot. Bucket kesemo already, dried. Ube yini tini mina, mami kechi na minye flika krakra di ase.
Kechi.
Oh, maybe I have a fry. Now when you what I say, blend it, the fried beans kakra. You don't even need to add tomatoes. I think you and I can sit down and really come up with some of these nutritious recipes.
I'm going to say you and I need to actually publish a recipe book that people, even if it's an ebook, that people can tap into. So please, let's add that to our list of things. Let's do
yes. The one you call turkey berries. Sister, thank you. So can consider this in turkey berries. Oh, matete fufu now we bargain fine. One my air and commercial fridge ma and black and green. You can use it, very nutritious. What I say? So in place of buying mojadroya 28 Ghana, no, turkey berries 3 Ghana cedis. Yeah. I have restored over a month ago, and yes, some of these things we can all do it. It will save us. It will save us. We have a lot here. But encourage yourself. Be around people that will motivate you and encourage you.
Yes,
flee from negative people.
Yes, ma'am.
Find people who have been there and share with them. They will say 1 or 2 things that you can also pick up. Please, I'm saying it is not easy at all. even me, with where we've gotten to with therapy and getting the best of support, it is not easy. I still cry. I have one person that I can call at any time that I can talk to. You know, when the go gets tough, we all need that one person. It's not all about not having the money. Of course, like Amma said, we are all broke, but there are also little things that we can do here. Little things that we can do here. Why? Now, and lifting weight no be free also. Yes, okay. This is all I get every day. I get about 1,000 times on the left and on the right. Okay. You know, and I'm trying to teach her, you know, not to be go around and be kissing people because
that's one.
So I'm teaching her, you know, all those things, but it is not easy. But it's also not a sad or a sad end situation. Okay,
no,
life must continue.
It does continue. Nanaya, you brought this up, so let's do this. Nanaya asking we can have a Q&A session. Listen, me person me dada and Mary, na oba webinar, and we sit down and she actually webinar diet and this one is just informative, but a webinar where she can focus on foods. I want her to actually expand on healthy skin and a lot of things. Comfort, I need your help because you know my interests are many, and so I need somebody who has a niche interest. You can lead a particular one, and Aunt Mary and I will support them. But if you're interested in a webinar, my friend Aunt Mary, I'm a webinar. She needs money to do things, so you will pay for the webinar, okay? You will pay a nominal fee, not something expensive, but a nominal fee, so that the time she's invested in learning and she's going to impart into you also begins to give her a bit of return. If you are interested in going on Mary the webinar, WhatsApp me and let me know. Any day.
Mother, the first one, Brad. Okay, there's a Habendi in Ghana called Tamiewu. How many of you knows that one?
Your friend is saying
Tamiewu.
Tamiewu. They be waiting meaning no.
Won't you? Brofono, me type one mami to minka. But it's this one actually I got it from Past and Gardens. And it's so nutritious and it's also I want to show you it's very nutritious, and if you read the literature on the internet, it's also very good for detox. Okay, yes, you can just add a leaf or two every day in the food. It's amazing. And all these things, I think it's 5 cedis. I bought it for 5 cedis. In fact, in my neighbor's backyard, so that people passing by, there's a lot here. Mint, you can even have mint. You don't need a space. So sometimes you just buy a little small bowl, and then you put the sand in, and that is all you need. And then you just water every 3 days. It is very nutritious. So you can have your own mint that you can boil every 3 days, give to the child, you know, for the detox. That thank you. This is it.
Oh, I know this one.
You remember when we were children, we used to put it in our books, and then it would germinate.
Oh,
so you know that also. This is it. This is it. Yes, this is it. This is very good, you know. So all these things we have them here. I'm sure there's a lot we can put together and share with parents.
Oh, we should. Aunt Mary, we really should. But seriously, I was telling them, those of you who are interested, if I get enough interest and it would make sense, definitely, I will go sort out. I will arrange one with Aunt Mary, and she can come in webinars and she can actually teach specific. The English name, we don't know. None of us is English. We will find it for you later.
Oh, no, it's B biofuel something, sister. Maybe make a term and you back.
We will type it.
If you check on Nanaya's page, it's there with the name. I
Okay.
put it there with the name.
Nanaya, can you get it
Very
abroad?
good.
Very soon, I will be talking to Auntie Mary about bagging some of these things, dehydrating them, and exporting. I want to talk about some of these things so people who want it will be able to get it. Yeah, if you know anybody who will find it helpful, just tag them in for me. Nanaya,
No, somebody is Nunum. It is not Nunum.
No, Nunum
is Akoko Mesa.
Nunum is
that one I have here too. It's not Nunum.
Nunum is different. You are interested. Mepacho, don't just write you are interested. Please WhatsApp me. I am interested in Auntie Mary, a webinar with Auntie Mary. My WhatsApp number is going on the screen. I am putting out different webinars. So I am running one on emotional intelligence. You are interested, add emotional intelligence when you get in touch with me. I am running one with Ferdinand Senyo Lawson, empowerment. Let me know. Dr. Kofi Addison and I will be doing webinars as well. Let me know. Tell me who the speaker is that you want to go in webinar with. Or tell me the topic area you are interested in. My WhatsApp number is going on the screen. WhatsApp me, please. Let me know that you are interested in webinar. I will put out a webinar call maybe sometime tomorrow morning or afternoon. Click on those ones, register your interest, and then once I know that there is a real interest, we will organize it. But yes, let's be on belief. It's good to see you. Whoa.
Oh yes. But the LEUM is LIUM.
Yeah.
That I remember. What is in Kakra? So yes. But that's the name. Gloria, you got it. You got it. Except that the E should be I.
So yes. It's right for those of you who want to go check it out.
Yes. And the second name is PINN something. I'll send the name to you.
Please send it to me. Akoko Mesa is Basil, and yeah, you can get Akoko Mesa.
Yes,
the way you can get Akoko Mesa. I have some in my kitchen actually. I buy them in pots and then I cut them off. Usually take me 2 weeks. I finish.
And this is where every plant or whatever is a root that you can plant. Yeah. This one is a leaf. Yeah. This is where it germinates. So you get new.
As a child, you put it in your exercise book and it germinates.
Yeah. That one. In Chi, we call it taimiawu. O taimiawu.
But then plant no here medical keke. Na me teach my exercise book. Maybe
that's the one.
We are on autism spectrum. Oh, I am definitely on the spectrum, and most of you are if you are sincere. It is a very common thing amongst Ghanaians. So when you see somebody's kid with autism and you begin to judge, it makes me laugh. I had to stand in the mirror and I had to see some of those behaviors as mine. They are mine and they are there. A lot of you, if you are honest and sincere and you stand in the mirror, you will find yourself on the spectrum somewhat. It is very common amongst Ghanaians. No judgment on anybody. So when somebody's kid has it, just leave them alone and allow them to go on and find Rifelium. You can spell it whichever way you want. The American spelling.
Yes. Somebody got the spelling. Yeah. Somebody brought the name.
I think it's what you're looking at, the American spelling or what. Just have a look. If you search for it, you will find it. You put me before. You are interested, just WhatsApp me. Interested in a webinar with Auntie Mary, and I will collate names. When we have 20, 25 people, it makes sense. Because then everybody pays a small amount and Auntie Mary's time is also compensated for. It makes no sense if it's 2 or 3 people. Then the payments will be high. But if it is, I don't know, 20, 25 people and Auntie Mary, we will do different ones. One, she will stay here and just talk about the foods. Another one, she will talk about intervention, the therapy you can do. If you are looking for upliftment, she can do that. You indicate exactly what you want and Auntie Mary and I can put them up. I am trying to get you to benefit from the resource people, but you also have to be willing to compensate them for some of the time they're going to take out to do this, because it's time they would have used for other things. All right. Most people are on the spectrum without diagnosis. Hands up, I'm sure I'm somewhere around the Asperger's area. I have very interesting things. I zoom in I have peculiar behaviors, and there is no embarrassment about it. I've lived a very full life. I am very happy in what I am. My WhatsApp number is on the screen. That number going down over there is my WhatsApp number. So catch it. And when you finish writing it down, just get in touch with me. I will wait for people who get in touch with me. There are some books that we can put out. Aunt Mary, can you think of any good books that we can recommend?
1 minute, just 1 minute.
Okay. I will share the books if I can find right now. You can find those books and you can go check them out. I have some few that I like. I want to see which ones Auntie Mary will recommend. And then we will put some links out for those of you who are here. My number one is positive parenting for autism. Positive parenting for autism. It goes through some of the fundamental shifts in paradigm which have to happen if you are going to raise those children positively. That's the link on the screen at the moment. Positive parenting with autism. Go check the book out. It will be life transformational for you. Positive parenting with autism. Positive parenting with autism. Is Alethea Press. There are many. Parents' Guide to In-Home ABA Programs is a good one. I see things differently. It's a first look at autism. One I highly recommend that you also go and check out. I see things differently.
Okay.
I see things differently out as well.
Are we ready?
If you tell me the names, I will find the link and I will put them.
So the child with special needs.
Child with special needs. Let me look.
Yes, so encouraging intellectual and emotional growth. I will send you the name so you can. The child with special needs. Yes. And then early intervention and autism. This is a very good one.
Okay.
Okay. Then this is all about your intestinal health. So it says breaking the vicious cycle. This is very good. Yes. It's more about breaking so this is about intestinal health through diet.
I found that breaking the vicious cycle is for intestinal health. Please take those links. Please check those books out. So this one coming on the screen now is the intestinal health one. This one.
Yes, this
self-help cookbook. Okay.
So this is for allergies. So a lot of our children have allergies. You need to understand why these allergic reactions, And then
help cookbook.
Yes, allergy for allergies. Okay. So what the child, I never knew that I had a condition called G6PD. I'm not sure whether you've heard about that.
Tell us about it. I'm glad
okay. This one, you don't want to hear it.
Oh, please say it.
So a few years back, I noticed that I was having some black patches, all over my body, all over. And it was itchy, very itchy. And I didn't know what it was. Later, it became like, like a boil. And when I say everywhere, I mean everywhere on my body. And, I started getting some medications and all that. Nothing worked. And then I actually went to a pastor and said, oh, Matie Bibiso, Obi had to be a drug. You know what that one means? I've stepped on something and then, whatever. Anyway, so he also gave me, but it was getting serious. So I started, maybe that was what has gotten me. I love wearing clothes like the Ghanaian, because that was my way of covering it. So nobody sees it. So one time I saw a man that I know very well. And I called him and I said, Mr. Hassan, there's this thing all over my body and I don't know where to turn to. I have done everything that I could. Then he said, I'll give you a note to go to Rebito Clinic, Abusu. The professor at Rebito Clinic, the doctor, is my very good friend. So I had an appointment. As soon as I showed the man my skin, he said, my dear, your body is reacting to sulfur.
Yeah.
You are not supposed to take anything that contains sulfur. But I want us to run a test. If it comes out positive, then we know what to do. We did the test after a week. The results came and he said, you have a condition called G6PD. There are certain types of, you can never take any medication that contains sulfur. That's number one. There's a kind of beans that I can never take. Because at one time I was driving, I had a blackout. So I actually had an accident at Gimpa. And that was as a result of all these things.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, so what can I take? I said, all you need to take is water. Just we are going to go through what we call water therapy for 6 months. After 6 months, you're going to. And immediately after I finished with the water therapy, so I was taking, I think, 1,500 mils or something, water per day for 6 months. Everything vanished. I still have my skin, no patches and all that. And so sometimes it's very good to know some of these things. Why is your body not able to? Because when a child has allergy, it means that your immune system is compromised. When you have an allergy, your immune system is compromised. But what is it that your body immune system cannot cope? So there's a book called Eating Right for Your Blood Type. You know that one. It's one very good. So before
it's something a lot of us have, by the way. It is very common among Ghanaians yet again.
Exactly.
Very common. But again, most of us don't. The anemias that we have, the incurable anemias, you will eat everything and you will eat all the livers, eat all the legumes, and nothing seems to be changing. It's usually linked with this condition too.
Yeah. So before I leave, everything also it's in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your mindset is extremely important. We'll put it in the fridge. Your mindset is extremely important. This is one book that has been a companion. Mindset. The New Psychology of Success.
Yeah.
So, one example that I can tell you, from this book, how do you know that something is sin? You perceive it, isn't it?
Yeah.
In your mind. It's very important, Now, we've done a lot of things and we continue to do. We have spent monies that we haven't gotten results and we keep spending, isn't it? You understand? How do you find that strength not to discourage yourself? It's all in your mindset. How do I train myself to be calm with the things that I cannot change about my daughter?
Thank you.
Yes. So your mindset, you need to start training your mind, to be calm within yourself.
Yeah, the beans is favor beans. Favor beans is a big issue. And it's not uncommon, by the way. It is not uncommon amongst us. We have a lot of these genetic precursors amongst us, but we don't even know that we are allergic. I have been allergic to palm oil for years. I still eat it when I'm naughty. But when I eat it, there's always repercussions from it. I can see it from my skin. I can see those little funny black eyes, and I'll see patches. And yeah, it's something as common as palm oil. And if I wash with palm olive or any of those soaps which were palm oil based, God Almighty help me. We have to look at some of these things. We suffer unnecessarily because of lack of knowledge. We really suffer. And Mary, I've taken much longer than I promised I would take because I was so excited. I just looked at the time and I'm like, oh my God, I have
2.5 hours.
I have stolen much more than I agreed with. I only just looked at the time. I thought we were approaching an hour. I looked at it and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. But yeah, if you are interested in going into a webinar with Aunt Mary, if you want to find out a little bit more information, just get in touch. The WhatsApp number has been put up by the Saint, which is Nana. Get in touch. Tell me what you are interested in. If you are looking just to make contact, fine. You will have to be patient because it will be an awful lot of you. If you are looking for more impartation and you'll be interested in the webinar, please indicate that and join me in thanking the legend, which is Aunt Mary. You are
Thank you too.
You really are inspirational. When I'm looking for strength, I come to watch you. And it's not just you. There are many people who watch you silently on the side and they get very inspired. She is beyond an entrepreneur. She is a solution woman. When there's a problem, she finds solutions. And yes, I am going to be encouraging her to start putting together some of these leaves and stuff into powders and to start drying, dehydrating some of those.
Yeah, come.
Recommend them. You can even start selling some of them to those of you who would be interested. Yeah, we've stolen an IAS more for much longer than I intended. And so I'm just going to thank Auntie Mary and the rest of you, and I will continue on the side. Auntie Mary, you blessed me so much.
God bless you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Right, guys. Right, you wanted inspirational people. I brought you some. You make of it as you want. Oh, Napo. Yeah, I think I've seen you with some photography thing. I've seen your name somewhere. I can't remember what it was, but please get in my inbox and tell me what you do, because my spirit tells me I need to talk to you too. My spirit tells me I need to talk to you too. Ethel, pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. Auntie Mary is phenomenal, phenomenal. I hope if it didn't do anything for you today, it actually inspired you, that it actually made you dare to dream to be better. That when you get a diagnosis or your child is different, it's not a death sentence. It is not the end of the world. Yes, Napo, please do get in touch. Yes, Comfort, send me the invitation to the page. And yes, you can do some of the admin of what needs to be done. Maybe even hosting of the parent groups and stuff like that. And Auntie Mary and I might dip into it as resource people every now and again. But if I say that I am going to run that page as well as the others that I've got already going, it would be a lie and it will not happen. Oh, Sister Mary, that's why I asked Auntie Mary for 1 hour and I ended up stealing 2.5 hours without even realizing. And yes, Nana, thank you. Those of you who want to support my show and make contributions to what I do, it's the other way around. So it's patreon.com/Amoah Manson. If you go to that link, you would be able to become a supporter of the show. You can pledge whatever, £5, £10, £25, or anything of your choice, so that I can use those things to be running the phone calls and the logistics it takes to make the show happen, to get the platforms that I use to run these webinars and all these things I'm talking. None of them is free. So it allows me to become self-generating as a show. And if I can convince you to go on there and to go become one of my patrons, it will be transformational for me. Thank you so much for everything. I hope that today it has been at least insightful. I pray that it inspired some of you, it's galvanized some of you, it's motivated some of you, and it's helping you to see adversity as opportunity. Auntie Mary runs a center because of her journey with autism. You have only heard of Auntie Mary because of what she's done with autism. It didn't start as a good thing, but the way she's chosen to go about things has made it into a positive impartation in her life. Thank you so much. May God bless you and catch you soon. Good night. It was a replay of something. We've watched it live, but it was...
I guess you're still watching.
Me boss again. Greetings, brother Kwesi. Greetings, everybody. Me bobiem because na me pese me prepare ground, you know. As you can see on the screen, link na muhunu was screen. It's a live screen link to book. Click on it. Go and book onto the webinar. Auntie Mary in webinar. No. It's happening on Friday. Click on the link. No need to even call Amoah. That screen is 398523. No. That's the code for that particular webinar. No. So click on it, book on it. You can pay straight, and they will send you all the details on how to access it on the day via email. everything. Mokai said, Mrs. say, yeah, systemize, automate. We are systemizing and automating. And one of the things we are using to systemize and automate, any day, screen, click on that link. No need to WhatsApp me. No need to ask anything else. Book onto it. And your name, your email address, and then your payment details. No book £30 for 1 solid hour of teaching from Auntie Mary Amoah. Oba be kita pen no paper, notebook. Abetina se abesunya tips. I will be to media manage oba. And near me eating right and you can't be but what sort of things need to be watched for? And near my bed, necessarily pay attention to. You need to know, and it can only be told to you by almost wakushia. That's why I am putting the webinars out. It's parents education for managing special children. Don't send me a special text. WhatsApp baby, I'm managing the WhatsApps and adding. Please click on this link. This is a link for Auntie Mary Amoah, the parenting webinar, and we are running it on Friday, the 3rd of July, 1 o'clock GMT. Friday, the 3rd of July, 1 o'clock GMT. Title near Parents Academy, Managing Children with Special Needs. And it's run by Auntie Mary Amoah and yours truly. Me a supporter. But most of the gems of wisdom, the pearls of wisdom will come from Auntie Mary Amoah. That is the first of the webinars. The second of the webinars, again, should be quite popular because a lot of you requested it. It is with the sensational emotional intelligence coach, which is James Kwesi Addison. It's in the 9885. SAR code 9885. Yeah, but say, that is the registration for the emotional intelligence. Your friend is a seminar webinar with James Kwesi Addison. The third and final one is the one at Ferdinand Senyo Lawson. I know you knew said there was an offer. The first 10 people on, he was going to give you books. And what's happening? To say this is what we've done. First 10 people to book on Ferdinand, you get his book for free. And to book, we will get your email address when you book. I will be in touch with you to discuss dispatch of book. But book here, Ferdinand 398721. It's the webinar, webinar the same. It's the code and exercise. And a friend is saying 9885 James Kwesi Addison webinar 3982721 Ferdinand Senyo Lawson and the MNA Sister Mary Amoah 398523. And 3 webinars we have happening. The first one is with Sister Mary Amoah 1 p.m. GMT, which will be 2 o'clock BST, which will be later on or earlier in other time zones. 1 o'clock Ghana time, GMT. Once you book and you pay, it will send you the link and how to access and everything else in your email automatically. And you will get reminders and countdowns until the day. Get it done today because we have limited spaces. Into your bookwana edru space and then necessarily organize it other days. Then I know and I go ahead and I do it. It's a power choice. Don't leave it. Book it now. Me and sending in up so far you can because there are 3 separate days, 3 separate resource people, all a lot of valuable information to put out. Book. Don't WhatsApp me. Some of you are still sending me WhatsApps about what I am explaining. Wow. Na ama bit me a discussion on WhatsApp into Mr. Me say yes, systemize and automate. Maybe we will systemize and automate. Okay, booking onto the webinar is one we are going to systemize and automate. Click on the one of your choice. Final one, the last one that we posted, Ferdinand Senyo Jose. The one before, your friend James Kwesi Addison, and the first one in that sequence, Sister Mary Amoah, the webinar. 3 webinars available at Donkomi prices. Please book, register. Come and receive training that is life transformational. It's more from here. Unless it's a question, Mumma me emfamusi ha. And Nuranso me run a business for dear. And see, this is the automated version of the one we run and ra. It was for business for more business. A chi webinar, me chi purposefully. Why wants to ye business? We send your juice plus so a dear benyu, solid dear benyu, herbal life herbal. I really don't care what it is, but dear, web your hair shop, a dear ben, your business online. You need to understand quite a few things. So phrase systemize and automate in the America, systemize and automate. Toss our webinar and I will show you. Na obatu ewie no a obeti ase the entire systemize and automate no, and you will get tools I the systemize near the automate. Go all guns blazing whole. Book those webinar places for me, help me spread the message, share the links, copy the links and put it to your pages and your platforms. Winning baby our parents baby go moka autism who asema copy na fa google ko ma mo abesrebo One penny in the say Makasa che say Amachia no to kakra. It is a cham hoto sorry Mobetminka. I'll get up and then minute oasis for our marriage show no enumerate, and then we will continue with the rest of it. Yankopon na soon coming the million book onto the webinar, so book now. Don't wait, don't delay, get it done now. No, don't WhatsApp me. Click on the link. Straight, Selilim, and go do it. Click on the link. Go straight to page, you know. You don't even need to go anywhere else. You can make your booking, your payments, any reservation. BBR on the same page, you know, 3 pieces of information you provide and you are in. To be so, Yenisa, there be man text me, man for me, name what. We are near marketing, kitty BB. Na say BBB actually wadwen at some point in an episode bisa 7 quick one no problem. But say we be frame me say see and we bisa me ade amaka ho asem no maka tro say ya available. Ewo your friend is saying link so abetimi akọ no aye automatically na ni de moa. Nti mesre mo amunyai. WhatsApp na mo WhatsApp me say that one doesn't help, I beg. That one is not helping. So please register fast. Na monka ho asem. Na I'm just going off and I'm going to start collating. If I'm a sending me WhatsApp I will not respond. Why? How do I book? And I know what I do. So Facebook here, I click a link on the course and sign text me and say me about that's just repetitive and it doesn't really achieve anything. Why, Mr. Mommy and cut it back on repetitive behavior. Let's start being efficient. And one that link and so we'll send him a WhatsApp we are messing up with the it's just click on Sadi a bit straight. Fakoho nekoko buku straight. Reserve your place. And train and man your mamma seem to be buku places ni na fe wo man ho kire me. Se nipa de door so dia me hwese bit me invite Auntie Mary and ya splitting it up. But see you lose our point now. Why suffer and near maybe when it's not necessary? Why suffer and near maybe when it's not necessary? See Mr. When you're mad, Monya madoye na munyi na monka ho. Na ye nyina yenye okay. Yes. Good. Mpacho. Click on it. When you click on it, you book straight away. Mpacho. Don't text me. 3 pieces of information that you're paying less. Your name, your email address, and then you pay and you have your booking. Book here, it will send you an email. Until we hear so confirm it from Ama. It will come to you automatically. We are systemizing and we are automating. So when Sanka email dia na will be samia but when you are fair the basic click on it. The basic one kasa could do more. Click on it. Okoswa will be who team. For sure. Nti medimusia medi yanko jam. Me kon ma kudimi pa kakra. ne yɛase ahyia akyire na yɛaka nneɛma aka ho asɛm. Why? Mede mo nyinaa asi ha. Nyankopɔn na asomdwie nka mo nyinaa. See you soon.